I want to take a few minutes to speak to you today about important developments for all of us as ASTI members. In the coming weeks, you will be asked to vote in a ballot on the document Senior Cycle Redevelopment, Implementation Support Measures, and its addendum. The addendum is the extra items we secured through negotiations with the Department of Education and Youth. As you will recall, in May 2025, members rejected the original Implementation Support Measures document over serious concerns about workload, training, assessment, and the pace of change. Since then, ASTI has been actively engaged through dispute resolution processes, the Workplace Relations Commission, and direct negotiations with the Department of Education and Youth to address those concerns. These efforts have resulted in a new addendum or a new additional document agreed on the 17th of April, which builds on the original document and introduces a number of important changes. The Central Executive Council, or CEC, has now decided to ballot members, and I want to make 3 key points today. First, ballot papers will be issued to schools shortly, along with full information. It is essential that every member takes the time to read the material carefully and participates in the vote. Second, the ASTI is recommending a yes vote on this occasion. This recommendation reflects the view that, while the proposals are not perfect, the addendum represents real and tangible progress on the issues you as members raised. So, what has improved? ASTI has achieved, through negotiation with the department, a mechanism whereby ASTI members can now apply for the 2 posts of responsibility allocated in the implementation supports document. This wasn't the case just 2 weeks ago. These posts carry significant advantages, such as dedicated time, an alleviation of 4 hours for AP1, and a first in Irish education, a 2-hour alleviation for AP2s. Crucially, the provided hours are ex quota, and these are permanent positions. Well, there are additional financial supports for schools, including a 2 million implementation fund, giving schools flexibility to support the rollout of senior cycle changes. There is also a commitment to a pilot laboratory support assistant scheme and potentially broader implications for practical and digital supports. Something members have long called for. It is a first in Irish education, and it certainly opens the door for more assistance and supports in other subjects. Importantly, there is now clearer legal protection for teachers in relation to the authentication of student coursework. This provides reassurance that teachers acting in good faith will not be personally liable. It will, in fact, be the minister that will be liable, not the school, not the teacher. None of those will be liable. There are also improvements in training and professional voice. Teachers will have greater input into the evaluation of training, and there are commitments for further support, like targeted training for science teachers in the area of health and safety, particularly with AACs, or additional assessment components. In addition, new structures such as a workload working group, an AI task force, and a seat at the table on the Senior Cycle Redevelopment Committee are available. This will ensure that teachers have a direct role in shaping how these reforms develop in practice, as the ASTI will have a strong voice at the table of these 3 respective committees. There is also greater clarity around assessment arrangements, particularly in relation to orals and oral exams. there is a rebalancing of Croke Park hours that is significant, where we trade in our 10 hours non-whole school, which has a form that, according to a circular, that must be given to management. We trade that in and we take out a new model whereby we have 14 hours non-whole school on a high trust basis. It is significant to note that they are separate things. It is not simply +4 Croke Park hours. It's a new model of the non-whole school hours, 14 based on a high trust model. Finally, acceptance of the proposals is linked to the delivery of the 3% local bargaining pay adjustment under the current public service agreement. This is significant and represents approximately €1,500 per year for a teacher on the bottom of the pay scale and approximately €2,700 per year for teachers on the top of the pay scale. It is dependent on senior cycle cooperation, which we have been doing, and it is important to note that all members note that we are balloting on support measures. We are not balloting on the senior cycle itself. Whether members accept this addendum or do not in the ballot makes no difference to the senior cycle redevelopment. Senior cycle redevelopment is a decision of the minister, and we have no veto as a union on the minister. The best way that we address the concerns that still exist in senior cycle is by having our voice represented on the 3 committees I named previously, and also by having a strong voice in what's called the early rapid reviews, where everything, including the 40% waiting for additional assessment components, will be under review. Colleagues, this is not a perfect agreement. It does not resolve every concern, but it does represent progress achieved through your union's sustained engagement and pressure. The decision now rests with you. Full details will be available shortly, and I strongly encourage you to review all the information, consider the implications carefully, and most importantly, please cast your vote. Thank you.